Welcome, and thank you for your interest in our 15-month development plan. Let's start off by taking a look at the budget for our first 15 months of development. As you can see, we've got our different teams listed from executive management, office staff, sales, research and development, website, human resources, accounting, marketing, IT/database, customer service/help desk, and implementation. The total salaries and benefits for the first 15 months are $3,432,000. Our total budget for operating expenses is $1,115,000. Our total budget for equipment investment is $480,000. Our total indirect costs, $120,000, and a contingency fund also to be used for implementation and the rollout of our version 1.0 at $4,818,000 for a total investment of $10 million. Our first quarter will involve pre-development. That will include myself and one other person, an executive assistant that will help me for the first 3 months. We will start the corporation eRIPEX and issue stock in eRIPEX. We'd open a corporate bank account and rent an office space. At this point, we would anticipate that being downtown Las Vegas. Of course, set up the new office and draft and convene a board of directors. We do that in agreement with the investor so that all of the members of the board of directors are agreeable to both myself and that of the investor. I would produce the 12-month project plan and the system specification structure document. Those documents would be used to direct our development for the first 12 months of development, and we would hire team members from the first 5 teams. At the end, our quarterly milestones for the end of the first quarter would be a corporate headquarters located in downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, a functioning board of directors, and a 1-year project plan to develop our eRIPEX version 1.0. I have here a budget for our first quarter of pre-development showing the executive management and the office staff, operating expenses, and total equipment investment. At this point, there would be 2 employees, myself, and an executive assistant for the first quarter. In the second quarter, it would actually be our first quarter of development. We would publish our website and build our database. We create the architecture of the system. That's very important. The architecture, the better the architecture, the easier it is to scale the system to the level that we're going to need to scale it. Of course, task management, screen design, functionality review. I will be leading the functionality review team. To be part of the research and development team. Alpha testing is the testing that we do during development and before we hand it over to somebody else to beta test it. And of course, we'd hire additional team members for accelerated development in the coming quarters. The milestones after the end of the second quarter would be a web-hosted database on our server and published website introducing our version 1.0 to the marketplace. We'd have our functioning security systems developed into our development version of eRIPEX, and we'd have our initial system functionality available via the internet and plans to escalate our development. As you can see, the budget for the second quarter, I've listed out the teams that would be active at that time. We'd have a total of 14 employees and heavy into research and development and the supporting teams that will be needed by research and development to provide the platform for the testing and for things to start to happen. During our third quarter, we would continue development on the eRIPEX modules. We had set up our big box retail development and testing environment. That will be a leased store that we can set up, test store that we can set up to develop and test our systems in it. We'll evaluate the existing handheld technology, currently stores use Geminis and Telezons. We are going to have some different requirements for our handheld technology, so we will design the changes necessary and meet with the companies that we would want to deal with as far as producing handheld technology that will meet our needs. We'll develop our big box retail module for the system and hire additional team members to populate additional teams. At the end of the third quarter, our quarterly milestones would be a functional version of 1.0 of eRIPEX, and we'd be refining the plans of version 1.0. We would launch the sales team, the marketing team, the customer service / help desk team, and the implementation team. Here is our budget for the third quarter, again detailing all of the same teams and salaries, benefits, operating expenses, equipment, and indirect costs. At this point, we will have grown to 21 employees, and again, most of it in the research and development team. Fourth quarter, continuing on with development, we would start our beta testing of eRIPEX version 1.0. We would troubleshoot any known issues that are discovered for this version. We'd start creating the marketing plans and materials. We'd start creating the sales plans for the launch, and we'd start creating the help desk systems that will be used to support the customers of version 1.0. We'll also start creating implementation plans on how we're going to go in and set up a store and bring them online to the system. Of course, we'd hire additional team members. The quarterly milestones at the end of quarter 4 would be a preliminary marketing plans and material, preliminary sales plans for the launch, preliminary help desk systems, preliminary implementation plans, and documentation of all issues that need to be addressed with version 1.0. Here's our budget for quarter 4, listing out all the different teams. We would now be up to 43 employees. Of course, we have our research and development team, but at this point we will have expanded out and now have our sales teams, our marketing teams, our implementation teams, all the support teams that will be necessary for the business operations as well as the system operations. For our final quarter of the development plan, we will continue the beta testing of version 1.0 and again troubleshoot any issues that come up. We will complete the marketing plans and material. We will complete the sales plans for the launch. We will complete the help desk systems to support the customers of version 1.0. We will complete the implementation plans so that we'll be ready to go out to our potential clients and set the system up in their location. And we will start the development plans for the next version, the 1.1 version of eRIPEX, and hire additional team members as necessary. The quarterly milestones at the end of quarter 5 will have all issues resolved prior to the launch of version 1.0. We will have finalized our marketing plans, finalized our sales plans, finalized our help desk systems, and finalized our implementation plans for our potential clients. Here is the budget for the 5th quarter, detailing out all the teams. At this point, we would have 61 employees with all of our teams built out to the level that we would be running on all cylinders in our development. Development will continue even after the first year, of course, but we needed this development time in order to get the system developed to the point where we could start to bring it out to our consumer public. Last, we have our product launch. First steps, we'll be developing relationships during our beta testing system, our beta testing, and we're going to use our sales force that we have hired and started to develop to get in to develop some relationships at the retailers that we want to target first. We have individual strategies at every level because we will be targeting, all 4 levels of the retail industry. Implementation, we'll have fully trained teams operating in the U.S., and we will be looking to expand our system and our implementation globally and branching out the eRIPEX system outside the United States. The execution of the plans will, full commitment of all the employees going forward with the execution of the rollout plans. We have a highly developed business plan. It's been developed over decades, and this will be a highly profitable business with a huge potential upside. This ends our short video on our 15-month development plan. If you have any questions, I will be glad to meet.